Meetings are televised every day on Channel 2 at 6 p.m. and midnight and available for your viewing pleasure on YouTube. At this time, we'll call the meeting to order. We'll begin with Pledge Allegiance, followed by silent meditation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's begin with old business. We'll consider the meeting minutes from August 12th, 2025 regular meeting. And I just need a motion to accept those minutes.
I move that we accept the minutes from the last meeting.
Second.
All right, motion's made and seconded. Begin voting with Commissioner Hingla.
Aye.
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 Nancy?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. All right, next up is second consideration of ordinances. We'll begin with ordinance number 8265 to levy special assessments for nuisance abatement costs.
Madam Mayor and Commissioners, since the agenda went out on Friday, one property has paid for their abatement, so one property was removed and an updated ordinance was placed on the dais. Outside of that, no other changes to that ordinance, so it is ready to proceed.
Okay. And this is a roll call. Were you going to call the roll call, or can?
You can do this.
Okay, I could do this one. All right. Any questions before we? Okay, this is a roll call vote, so if you would, I guess we'll start with Mayor Pro Tem Bowder.
Aye. Yes.
Martin, aye.
Pittman, aye.
Wilson, aye.
Hingler, aye.
All right, motion passes. Next up is the second ordinance for number 8266. It's the approval to levy special assessments for demolition costs.
Madam Mayor and Commissioners, there have been no changes to this ordinance since it was first introduced at the August 12th meeting, so it is ready to proceed as well.
Okay. Any questions?
No.
All right, this is also a roll call vote, so we'll begin the roll call with Commissioner Hingler.
Hingler, aye.
Wilson, aye.
Pittman, aye.
Martin, aye.
Bowder, aye.
All right, thank you. All right, brings us to new business. First up is public comment. Public comment is limited to 3 minutes per speaker. In the interest of time, we ask that groups wishing to speak limit their public comment to one presenter. This is an opportunity for the City Commission to hear thoughts of public prior to conducting official city business. The mayor, City Commission, and city staff have been asked not to respond to those giving public comment, and action may be taken by the commission or public comments items. The mayor may direct staff to follow up with specific individuals after the meeting. When speaking, please state your name, your address, and there was a sheet for sign up. Has anyone signed up tonight?
Yes, we have 3. First up is April Patswold.
All right. Hello and welcome.
Aye.
Hi.
I'd like to thank you for your time. I have presented a letter of petition for each one of the commissioners, including that's just the brief, there is a blue folder that has 20 signatures from the neighbors in the area of Walnut and 6th Avenue, to include Chestnut on Olive Street. These are all neighbors who are affected by the waterways and the culverts that are collapsing. My mother lives at 603 6th Avenue. She and my family inherited the house from my father, or my stepdad, who passed away. We have had multiple issues just this summer with the rains that have come through. The basement has flooded due to those rains because the plumbing runs along the creek line and it's broken into pieces. This is $15,000 worth of work that needs to be done. We can, try to figure out how to come up with this $15,000, but the yard and the house are sliding into this creek. In the packet that I provided you, there are 23 pictures of sinkholes and problems in those, along that 3 blocks of creek. It's in the blue folder that's sitting next to the city clerk.
Oh, okay.
Just so, because I know you guys don't have time to go look at all of this stuff. But I've spent a good amount of my time walking around and talking to all the neighbors, and how having roads closed down, alleyway that's closed down, that increases our crime rate in our area. We have people who are transversing back and through this alleyway that is completely brushed over and doing who knows what back there. The main problem is we have properties that are sitting on this creek that the city uses the waterway to get rid of the stormwater. And that creek wouldn't have this much decay to it if there wasn't so much stormwater having to go through this small creek that these houses are sitting on. Our neighbor, he bought the house from a lady who spent $40,000 to shore his house up before he bought it, and the house is still falling down into the creek. The answer isn't that we live on a creek and we just have to deal with it. The answer is that as citizens, we pay taxes to have these waterways maintained. I pay the water department so that when my water comes out of my house, it can make it to their main and it can go away. The city needs to pay its citizens by maintaining the creekways, that the water from the storms that come off of the roads that go through and decay our land is held back and taken care of, so that our property values can stay where they should be in these neighborhoods.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Up next is Jeff Rutledge.
Hi, I'm Jeff Rutledge. I live at 717 Oak Street. I was here at the last meeting. I guess my first comment is I was told that somebody would be in contact with me about the sinkhole on the property at 6th Avenue and Walnut, and nobody has been in contact with me. I went down into the culvert this afternoon. I didn't have time to print out pictures, but the culvert is completely blocked underneath the property at 6th Avenue and Walnut. Approximately 40 feet in from the north end of it. After you get in about 20 feet, the water is from 20 to 40 feet, the water is going under the culvert or something, because it's not running through the culvert. Then it shows up and starts coming out again. So I just want to make everybody aware that I was not contacted by anybody, like I feel like I was informed that I would be, and that the culvert is completely closed up. I will try to get pictures of that at some point.
Okay. Do you know if Brian's been out there?
Can you get his phone number? Or
Yeah.
my understanding is they've been out at that location now. I believe him that nobody has spoken to him, so we'll be sure to rectify that.
We'll get someone to contact you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And last is Jason Murphy.
Hi.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, absolutely.
He's like, I've got this down. Hi, Jason.
Hi. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jason Murphy. I live at 601 Topeka Avenue. I was here 2 weeks ago. I encouraged the commissioners to seriously consider the opportunities that existed in reducing the spending in the budget and eliminate having to raise taxes. I'm coming here again before you tonight because a review of the proposed 2026 budget showed clear opportunities to not only not have to raise taxes, but actually return funds to taxpayers. Clearly, in 3 minutes, I cannot cover a 322-page budget. But what would surprise any taxpayer is there's $19,800 in the budget for things like cake, coffee, donuts, and kitchen supplies. Yes, $19,800. 2 weeks ago, I listened to my fellow citizens talk about stormwater problems. I listened to a gentleman just talk about sinkholes, and yet taxpayers are paying for about $56 a city employee for coffee, cake, and kitchen supplies. In addition, many city departments charge fees to generate revenue for services, but the fees do not cover the expenses, including City Festival, Aquatic Recreation Fund, City Code Enforcement. If departments that generate revenue from fees that aren't related to health and safety cannot cover their expenses, then I would ask the commissioners consider that the city discontinue those services or find other ways to fund them than the taxpayer. When going back to the city manager and the city finance director, I would ask the commissioners to ask 3 questions. Given no additional taxpayer dollars, what can your department afford? How does your department's request for funds relate to the city's mission of protecting and maintaining the health, safety, and general welfare of the Leavenworth community? And finally, what is the utilization by taxpayers of the city of Leavenworth of your service, facility, park, etc. that your department provides that these fundings are being expended on? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anybody else? Is that it? Okay. All right. We'll move on to public hearing. Public hearing for exceeding of the revenue neutral rate. At this time, I'll need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. We'll begin voting with Commissioner Hingla. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, the hearing is open. You're up, Scott.
Thank you, thank you, Mayor and Commission. Yeah, so this first one is the resolution to exceed the revenue neutral hearing rate. Our illustrious city attorney, David, sent us a couple of pointers about exceeding revenue neutral rate in the hearing here that I just want to clarify real quick. Just to specify 2 things in particular. One, tonight you must vote on this hearing. You cannot table it as part of the Kansas state legislation. You can vote yea or nay, but it must be voted upon. It can't be tabled. And then, again, just one last time, we must approve the ad valorem budget, or it must be certified by October 1. So if any changes were to be made, it would be a very quick turnaround. So just wanted to keep those things in mind as we go through. So moving towards the, sorry, let me pull back up there we go. So Kansas state statute requires that we hold this public hearing prior to adoption of the budget, along with consideration and adoption of the budget. We have included a few things for you to review when we move into the public hearing process of the budget approval itself. As we are proposing tonight, the city of Leavenworth will exceed the revenue neutral rate. The Leavenworth Public Library is also proposing to exceed the revenue neutral rate, which additionally impacts the city's revenue neutral rate. The required resolution is before you and for discussion and approval. If you have any questions for myself or Roberta or the entire budget team, we are here.
Any questions? No. No questions? So at this time, we can take citizen comments if we have no questions. Okay. Anyone, we'll just do a show of hands, would like to make comments this evening on the revenue neutral rate? All right. You can come up to the podium. If you would just state your name and address again, Jason. Yeah, you. Sorry, I think you're the one with their sheet. Hi.
Hi.
Again.
My name is Jason Murphy, live at 601 Topeka Avenue. The budget clearly shows there is no need to exceed the revenue neutral rate. There are choices in the budget that are being made that have nothing to do with the mission of the city or the requirements for the health and safety of the citizens of the city. I ask and actually beg the commissioners to understand that you are taxing our elderly and our most needy citizens out of their homes. And I speak from a neighborhood who has a woman who attended the Nuremberg trials. She is 95 years old. Her Social Security does not go up to the rate that you guys are raising taxes. She will be out of her home, not just because of you, the school district and the county. You all work against those in those elderly and vulnerable positions. There are a lot of things we want, there are a lot of things we need, but there are those things we cannot afford. When I grew up, I wanted a nice bed, maybe a race car bed. What I needed was a mattress. What we could afford was the clearance floaty from a pool air mattress that I slept on. That's the difference between what you want, what you need, and what you can afford. All I heard from our staff members was levels of service. We can't afford the levels of service that you're asking for. And I'm sorry that that's the hard reality, but nobody can afford those levels of service. Not in the hospitality industry, nowhere. So saying that we need to maintain those things, saying we need to maintain wages when insurances have gone up, that's part of a compensation package. Don't tell me your employees aren't getting a pay raise when we haven't directly passed the 100% cost of their health insurance onto them. A 26% health insurance increase that they didn't fully accept is a compensation raise. They don't realize that, that's a supervisor problem of not explaining it. Your wage is not the only thing that is your pay package. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. Anybody else like to speak to revenue neutral rate? Do I have to give it so much time or no?
There's no other, yeah, we're good.
All right. At this time, I will close the public hearing. And then, wait, so raise your hand. We have to make a motion to close the hearing, right?
So moved.
All right.
Second.
All right, begin voting with Mayor Pro Tem Batter.
Aye.
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 All right. So now we have to consider, now you'll do the roll call for the consideration of the Resolution B 2404. This is actually the approval to exceed the revenue neutral rate.
That is correct.
Okay.
Unless you have discussion amongst yourselves first.
Yeah, any discussion? You have any thoughts?
No, I mean, I don't want to, exceed the revenue neutral rate, but, the city's portion of that, I mean, I would be in favor of. So, yeah, that's my comment.
All right. All right, we'll begin a vote.
Commissioner Hengula?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Pittman?
Aye.
Commissioner Martin?
Aye.
Commissioner Bowder?
Aye.
All right. Motion passes. All right, so next up, we'll have the public hearing on the 2026 operating and 2026 through 2030 capital budgets. So we need a motion to open that public hearing at this time.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we'll begin voting with Mayor Pro Tem Bowder.
Aye.
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 All right, the hearing is now open. Staff, do you have anything?
Yeah, just real quick, just quickly going over the policy report that I sent in the packet. Included in my policy report is the transmittal letter from the July 14th meeting, as well as there's a policy report addendum that the finance department put together that includes all of the changes that we at staff level made based on that conversation we had with you on July 14th. And even some of every single change that Roberta and her team made is down there, including, $200 decreases, $150 decreases, so it's all there. And that packet is, of course, available on the website for anybody else that would like to see it. Other than that, I think, again, Kansas State statute requires the city commission hold the public hearing, and prior to adoption of the budget, this budget does include the city budget, the 2026 through 2030 capital improvement budget, as well as the 2026 housing budget, particularly the Planters 2 operating budget. Other than that, if you have any questions for us, we are here.
Commission, any questions for staff?
No questions for staff? No.
All right, at this time, we'll open it up for citizens' comments. Is anyone care to speak on the budget? Okay, come on up, Jason. Welcome back.
All right, froze on me.
There you go.
Good evening. My
Good
name is
evening.
Jason Murphy, live at 601 Topeka Avenue. What I don't understand in the budget is why we spend up to $114,000 on an airport. Why we spend $553,000 on an aquatic center that only brings in $243,000. Why we have a city code enforcement branch that costs us $343,000 and generates less than $47,000. These are all things in the city budget that just scream at me. And there's no data that supports why we spent $80,000 on a batting cage that has less utilization than a storm sewer. I just don't understand why departments keep submitting for things that have no utilization of the citizens of the city or the community. And whose pet projects are they? And so I ask the city commission to ask again the city departments to do a better job of justifying their requests of the taxpayers' money. It's not what you got last year. It's not what you need. It's what you can afford. Given the money you have, what can you afford? When we were in Iraq, every veteran knows when Secretary Rumsfeld came over there and the question was asked, why do I gotta dig through a scrap heap for pig armor? Because you go to war with the army you have, not the one you want. Okay? You go with the budget you have, not the one you want. Not the one you need, the one you can afford. And if you're not gonna strip out coffee, donuts, cake, it speaks to all five of you. $19,800 worth.
All right, anyone else like to comment this evening? Okay. At this time, I will close the public hearing.
So moved.
All right.
Second.
Second, all right, we'll begin voting with Commissioner Hingler.
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you. So at this time, we'll need a motion to adopt the 2025 operating and capital budget.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion's been made and second.
Point
Any?
of order, Mayor, you said 2025 budget?
Oh, sorry, thank you. I'll do that again. I need a motion to adopt the 2026 operating capital budget.
So moved.
Second.
All right, thank you. Motion's been made and seconded. We'll begin voting with Commissioner Hingler.
Aye.
Aye.
No.
No.
Aye.
All right, motion passes 3-0. And next up is.
3-2, for the record. That was a
3-2.
3-2 vote.
Sorry, 3-2. Sorry, my contacts are so off tonight, I'm having a hard time reading. The next up is consideration resolution B 2405, the approval of 2026 housing budget for Planners 2. Any staff comments? No? All right, I just need a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. We begin voting with Mayor Pro Tem Batter.
Aye.
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 All right, motion passes 5-0. All right, next up is bids, contracts, and agreements. Consider award of contract for the property and casualty insurance for broker services.
Madam Mayor and Commissioners, before you tonight is a recommendation to award a contract for the property and casualty insurance broker services with the Riley Company. City staff prepared and distributed a request for proposal for brokerage services for our property and casualty insurance. As in doing a deep dive into our records, we could not find anywhere in the last 20 years where we had gone out and requested updated proposals, so we felt like this was a due diligence piece on our part. 6 proposals were received, 5 of which were reviewed as one proposal was not complete. The proposals were reviewed by a panel of staff to include the deputy city clerk, the finance director, the deputy finance director, the human resources director, the IT director, and myself, the city clerk. Based on the evaluation criteria in the request for proposal, the top proposal that received the unanimous consensus from the panel was from the Riley Company. The Riley Company has over 45 years' experience in handling public entity accounts and has satisfactorily served as the city's current broker for many years. Additionally, the Riley Company's proposal for both flat fee and commission-based options was significantly lower than the other proposals, making them the more economical choice. Staff recommends entering into a contract with the Riley Company for property and casualty insurance broker services. And with that, I can answer any questions.
Questions? So you said out of the 5, they were the lowest by far?
Yes, by far. I think my policy report states that in comparison with some of the other commission-based options, the Riley Company submitted a 5% commission, while others were at 7.5% to 15%. It was a very large range. And on the flat fee side, the Riley Company submitted $30,000, and the others were between $50,000 and $70,000. So significant savings on our part.
So real quick, Sarah, I'm sorry. So even though the other commission percentages were higher, were there any types of, negotiation guarantees or anything like that they included in there? Because those numbers may not be.
Some of these actually had multiple year increases, whereas also with the Riley Company, the 5% and or 30,000 flat fee stayed consistent every year. We were seeing increases with some of the other proposals one of them I think was 56 the first year, year 2 was 60. So we were seeing increases without really seeing any product as well.
Okay,
There was no
okay.
guarantee in savings.
Sorry, thank you.
Nope, you're fine.
Any other discussion? All right, well, I'll just take a motion to consider the award.
So moved.
Got a second?
All right. Motion's been made second. We'll begin voting with Mayor Pro Tem Bowder.
Aye.
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 Right.
All right. Thank you. All right, motion passes 5-0. Consent agenda.
Yeah, Madam Mayor, I move to approve the claims for August 8th, 2025 through August 21st, 2025 in the amount of $836,935.38. Net amount for payroll number 16 effective August 8th, 2025 in the amount of $427,568.97. No police and fire pension.
Second?
All right, motion's made second. Begin voting with Commissioner Hingela.
Aye.
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 All right, motion passes. All right. Scott, do you have anything?
I don't think I have anything, unless you guys have questions for me.
David?
no.
Vacancy. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, well, just real quick, it came to our attention that there's perhaps a little bit of a lapse in our ordinances regarding filling a potential vacancy on the city commission. It appears we don't quite have language that identifies how to do that properly. So we will be probably fast-tracking an ordinance through to you guys here at the next available meeting to take a look at for that. Obviously, our city attorneys are writing that to make sure it qualifies for what we need from state level, but just want to bring that to your attention.
Sarah and I looked at it and nowhere, I've got the big, thick bound version of the code, even from 2018, 2019, and there's nothing in it on that.
How'd you guys find that?
A question came up about how we would potentially fill a vacancy, and our code currently does have how we fill a particular position, like the mayor pro tem position. But in continuing to read through there, I could not locate where, like, it's
last year we did all that stuff about, how the mayor position, the pro tem position is filled, and that's getting updated into the code, and.
That's how the question came up.
What, was it a commission question or a citizen question?
No, it was staff-driven. We were just discussing the conversation and wanted to discussing how that would, we have an election coming up in November. We were discussing how that might happen, and then I asked the question, what would happen if for whatever reason there was a vacancy, how would that work? And we kind of looked into it, and so that's how it came up.
Okay, cool.
All right, David?
The only other fact, I don't know if, Sarah, do you have the form sheets that the commission needs to sign for you to submit to the state?
Yes, I do. So
right, so don't
don't
sign.
run away.
Don't run away.
Because I do need you all to sign the budget.
Awesome.
Right.
All right. Nancy, do you have anything?
No, I don't. Have a good week.
Hope you feel better.
I will. Thank you so much.
Griff?
Yeah, just a few things. I just want to just make a few notes here. just kind of wanted our citizens to know that I did vote to exceed the revenue neutral rate, but I did not vote to approve the budget. And the reason being, I believe the fund should no longer go towards LCDC that we've allotted for them. And I do believe we need to bring that in-house. The rest of the commission knows how I feel about that. I believe we can maximize our opportunity and maximize our investment in those funds if we brought those services in-house and we hired our own director of economic development. And so that is the reason there. I do believe our employees need to see a pay raise, and we still have to be competitive with other markets. Taxes are high. I was just looking at my my estimated tax increase bill for property taxes going forward. It's over 10%, and the way I look at it, over the next 5 years, I'm going to have to figure another $2,000 in my budget somehow. That's over $150 a month in food. So it's eventually got to stop somewhere, obviously. You guys can see the handouts. School district's taking majority of that increase right there. But we've had a couple different organizations through the budgeting process ask us for more money. And we've had citizens tell us that we're not providing enough service. Stormwater, for example. Something else that we had talked about, and our Director of Public Works had mentioned, we have over 15 miles, around 15 miles of stormwater infrastructure, and we can only take care of about several hundred feet every year. That's not sustainable. So there's a lot of things that aren't sustainable right now. Eventually, we won't be able to continue, I know, but I want to make that clear. So I do support the city's budget for everything except that. That's why I voted no. And with that, turn over to you guys.
Thank you. Commissioner Hingley?
Nothing. Have a good week, what's left of it.
Yeah.
Commissioner Wilson?
Just want to say thank you to all of our city staff and law enforcement and everyone who have served our community well. I definitely support everyone and what they're doing. I've been out of office for 2 weeks, and I feel good to be back. And I just want to say thank you all for your prayers and support. I've been gone due to the fact that I lost my sister on August 1st, and I just want to encourage you all, just continue, man, to support one another, check in on your family members. You never know what an individual's going through, and I just want to be transparent with you all. I lost my sister to a fentanyl overdose, and, it hurt. It hit home, and it hurts. And, just being in this position, serving the community, doing all that you can, trying to make a difference, you just never know, it's a battle when it comes to this fentanyl. It's a challenge. And as a citizen, as an elected official, and then just as a man of God, I'm going to continue to do everything that I can to fight this battle. It's an epidemic. It's going to take all of us doing our part. It's going to take law enforcement. It's going to take citizens, elected officials, us all coming together to fight against this war. It's not easy. When you see something and you see things going wrong, you see drug dealers making deals, man, speak up, call law enforcement, because you never know when it could show up on your front door and you lose a loved one. It's hard and it's tough. But I just thank everybody, man, that reached out to me for their prayers and just encouraged me to not give up. And I'm going to continue to fight this fight. And just know I'm going to share my story and encourage other individuals who's been struggling with this. And if you lost a loved one due to this fentanyl, just know, man, you're not alone. And I'm going to continue to do my part. And I just thank law enforcement for helping support this effort as well, too. So just as a community, hey, let's fight this fight together, because it's going to take all of us doing our part. And so just thank you all for the prayers once again. God bless.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you for being so honest and raw.
Yeah.
God bless you. Tonight I did vote no on the budget. I've heard from a lot of my constituents that taxes were too high, and when I'm on social media or in the community, it's all I hear about. So I didn't feel like it was in my right conscience that I could vote yes tonight. I think Roberta and Scott and everybody does, Penny, the whole staff does a great job. I believe that the staff, they deserve raises, everything, the budget's great. I just feel like I can't consciously raise taxes when I go out in the community, and that's all people do is to stop me about taxes. And I could be at Walmart, I could be downtown, and so, but I want everyone who's in this room to walk away with this form. This is a great thing.
on the table in the back.
It's on the table in the back. This explains our budget. It explains that 46% of your taxes are coming from USD 453. 30% of those taxes are coming from the county, and only 19% is coming from the city of Leavenworth, 4% the library in the state. So this is a wealth of knowledge how our budget looks. So please take this before you leave. Scott, I do have some questions for you.
Sure.
If you haven't seen or heard, there's a PAC, it's a super PAC, it's called Defend USA. I think they're have like $1.6 million in the bank, last time I did a check. And they're putting lots of ads out about me, specifically Mayor Holly Pittman. So I just want to clear a few things up. Did I cut overtime pay for emergency responders?
No, the only reference that I would note to that, well, specifically the commission, when you voted to approve the budget tonight, that cuts 5% in overtime for emergency services, so fire and police. Almost all of that 5% will be in voluntary overtime and non-mandatory shift work. So attending some community events, some trainings that maybe aren't necessary anymore that would overlap. That 5% reduction, it accounts for less than 8 hours total on average so for your average firefighter or police officer, it's less than 8 hours lost of overtime throughout the entire year.
Okay.
So it is not, and we are still going to fully staff our shifts for the emergency, for our day-to-day operations. We are still gonna, if somebody's sick or out, we're still gonna fill that gap. Nobody needs to worry about that. So it's all, that 5% reduction is mostly through unnecessary events and attendees and trainings.
Thank you. Second question, did I drain Leavenworth's rainy day fund?
I don't know what the rainy day fund
I don't either,
is. In terms of reserves, no, we are dipping into reserves over the last 2 years. One of the reasons we asked to increase the mill levy this year was to reduce the dip into the reserve fund so that we still are meeting the city's requirement to have 18% of reserves, which I believe will have 22% of the city's annual operating budget in reserves through this budget. So, no, we are actually still above the city's policy in terms of reserves.
Great. Did I raise sales tax revenue at the expense of our residents?
I don't know how, no.
No, because I can't, right? That's a vote of the people?
It would
Sales
be a vote
tax?
of the people to increase the sales tax rate, right.
Right.
So I would think we would all want to increase sales tax revenue.
Okay. Did I slash healthcare benefits for our city workers?
No.
No.
The approved plan is almost identical to the original plan. It's just 28% less cost to the city.
Madam Mayor, I wouldn't worry about what people say about you on social media.
Well, it's everywhere. It's everywhere I go, Commissioner. I just want to make sure, last one, did I make Leavenworth a sanctuary city?
I don't think I can answer that question, Mayor Pittman. That's
Okay.
not a policy.
But we've never had a vote, right, of that?
No, not
Correct.
since I've been here.
Okay, and I think that answers most of the questions. I just want to put that out there to the world, that that is a Defend USA is a super PAC, is outside money, and those are absolutely false claims about me. So thank you for taking time to do that.
Sure.
With that, any other questions, any other concerns? All right, with that, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.